nation continues to react to the deadly shooting involving federal agents in Minneapolis, including people here in central Illinois. Good Friday evening, I'm Janice Rebholz. Taylor Fleming spoke to a group holding a vigil at a busy Peoria intersection for the woman that was shot and killed. She joins us with more. Taylor.
Janice, organizers put this event together in less than 48 hours. They tell me it was meant to celebrate Renee Good's life and demonstrate they don't want anyone else shot. The candlelight vigil was held at the intersection of Main Street and University Street, near Bradley University. Several organizations played a part in putting it together. Leaders of the event say it was an organic, grassroots gathering.
Racism is the enemy. Fascism is the enemy.
Several dozen people were there to mourn Renee Nicole Good, the 37-year-old U.S. citizen shot and killed by Immigrations and Customs Enforcement agents on Wednesday in Minneapolis. The incident has sparked nationwide controversy as partisan disagreement broke out over what happened. The protesters near Bradley argued that Good was a victim who was just trying to help her community.
This is very close to home. The agent that murdered Renee is from Peoria, Illinois, and so a lot of people knew this person. They attended high school with them. It's not something in some faraway place. It really hits home.
In a statement, Republican Representative Darren LaHood does not condemn or praise the ICE officers involved in the shooting. He called the shooting in Minneapolis a tragedy all around and said the facts and evidence in the case must be carefully reviewed. Other Republicans on the national stage have defended the officers' actions and view Good as an attacker, like Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem.
They were attempting to push out their vehicle and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them.
It is very clear that her vehicle went right for the guy. She actually collided with him, and then that's, of course, when he fired his shots.
In the wake of the shooting, top Illinois Democrats have called for Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem to be investigated or removed from her position. For more on that, check out our website, 25newsnow.com. Janice?